If you want to play authentic blues bass lines, then this is the video for you. Hi, I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and in this bass lesson you're going to learn 6 blues bass line formulas that you can make work in nearly any situation. Whether you're playing a blues gig, writing your own 12-bar blues songs, or you just want to play some music with other people, the blues is a great choice. It's almost universally known, so chances are when you play with other people that you don't know, someone will likely suggest going to town on a blues. For you to do that though, as a bass player, you need to know how to get through the form using some authentic blues bass lines, and that's exactly what I want to show you in this video. We've got 6 in store, and they can be made to work in nearly any situation. We'll be moving through these lines pretty quickly, but if you want the tabs, notation, and backing tracks for everything here, just click the first link in the description of this video, sign up on that page, and I'll send it all to you absolutely free. You can follow along with this video or just download it and practice it later, however you fancy it. Right now though, let's dive right in. Blues bassline formula number 1. We're going to start really simply with just an 8th note line that just focuses on the roots of the chords. This could not be simpler. So let's say that we're in the key of A. We're playing an A blues. All you would do is play the roots of the chords as 8th notes the whole way. Now hopefully you know how a blues is constructed, but just in case you don't, let's recap really quickly. The most basic blues has just 3 chords. The first chord is the 1 chord that lasts 4 bars. So in the key of A, obviously the 1 chord is going to be an A chord. After that, we get 2 bars of the 4 chord. In our case, that's a D chord, then 2 more bars of the A chord, the 1. Then in the last phrase, we get 1 bar of the 5 chord. That's an E chord for us, followed by 1 bar of the 4 chord, and then following up with 2 final bars of the 1 chord. So in the key of A, we've got the A on the E string, 5th fret, D on the A string, 5th fret again, and the E chord is on the 7th fret of the E string, right? Of the A string right there. So this is our form, and if we wanted to play the simplest blues bass line to get through it, we'd just play our 8th note line just on the roots. I've got a little sneaky play along here, so if we played this with the track, it'd sound like this. Here we go, coming up to the D. Just for 2 bars, back down to the A. Up to the E for 1 bar. Down to the D. Back down to the A. Yeah, simple as. You can also play a similar line if it's a straight song, yeah? So you just straighten out the 8th notes. That'd sound like this. This is just kind of your typical rock, straight ahead bass line, but it's over a blues form. Back down to the A, up to the E for a bar, just like that. You can hear this kind of line in Lafayette Leake's song Short Dressed Woman if you're looking for a swung example, or Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll if you're wanting a more straight 8th example. Both follow the blues form perfectly. Let's move on to blues formula number 2, and that's an 8th note bass line embellished with the 5th. So instead of just playing the roots like we've been doing, we'll now play the root on every beat and the 5th on every offbeat. It'll sound something like this. Just the A and the E below it. And in the D, back to the A, to the E. You could also potentially use the low E and the open A. The low E and the low A is going to give you a slightly kind of fuller sound, but either will work. Now you'll notice that this one is probably more suitable if the tempo is a little bit slower, and it works especially well if the 8th notes are swung. Just check out John Mayer's Every Day I Have the Blues. Listen to the Pino Palladino bass line. It's incredible, and it's mostly based on this kind of idea. Blues bassline formula number 3. Now this is where we start getting more active and start using more notes. This formula uses the 1, 5th, and 7th of every chord. So if we're playing A, the 1 chord, we'll use these notes. A, E, and G, the 1, 5th, and 7th of the chord. And of course the high A, we can use that one as well. And the formula is very simple. Just go 1, 5, 7, 1 for every bar of every chord. So over the A, it's almost kind of like a walking bass line, yeah? So you do it for 4 bars, then over the D, same exact formula. 1, 5, 7, 1, and then over the E, of course. Yep, just like that. Now if we played it with the track, the other thing, you can also double every note if you want as well. So if we played that with the track, it'd sound like this. Up to the D, the E, back down to the D, then A. Yeah? If you want a real-world example of this bass line in action, check out the Buddy Guy song, My Time After a While. Prime example of this kind of blues bass line. Let's check out blues bass line formula number 4 now. This one is kind of like number 3, but arranged slightly differently. Instead of going 1, 5, 7, 1, we're going to go 1, then the octave of 1, then drop down to the 7th, then the 5th. It's kind of like the descending version of formula number 3, and it'll sound like this. 1, 8, 7, 5, 1, octave, 7, 5. Same thing again on the D. And if every note is doubled, which it usually is with this bass line, it sounds like this. This is probably the kind of bass line you might have heard before. Yeah, just like that. This is a very stereotypical kind of line. This is the kind of line that people associate with a lot of blues bass lines because it happens a lot. Check out Jarko's Fannie Mae for a good example of this one. He throws in a bunch of other fancy stuff as well, like these kind of triplets. Those ones. Yeah, it's kind of like a small variation of the original idea. By the way, you can find all the bass lines and all the variations in the PDF underneath this video, so go and check that out as well. For blues bass line number 5 though, we're going to add some new notes into the mix. In this case, our formula will be 1, 3, 5, 6. That's what we'll play over every chord, and it'll look like this. Over the A, C sharp, E, F sharp, 1, 3, 5, 6. The D chord will have D, F sharp, A, and B, 1, 3, 5, 6 again. And over the E chord, E, G sharp, B, and C. Now this formula is pretty flexible. There's a lot that we can do with it. We can start out just playing 4 notes to a bar, just like a classic walking bass line. We can also double the notes to make it more of a shuffle blues bass line, just like this. We can go up to the 6th and back down to the 5th. 6, 5, 1, 3, 5, 6, 5. Yeah? If you wanted to, you could straighten out the 8th notes, and then it'd turn into a kind of jailhouse rock kind of line. It'd sound like this. Check it out. 1, 3, 5, 6, 5. 1, 3, 5, 6, 5. Up to the E. Yeah? This is really similar to the kind of bass line you'd hear in the Blues Brothers track, Shake Your Tail Feather. Now after you play the 6th, you can also go up to the root of the chord and then back down the other notes. So you might go... Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 6, 5, 3. Yeah, then it turns into a 2-bar phrase. And that'll work over all the other chords as well. If you check out the Jimmy Dawkins song Little Angel Child, you'll hear this exact kind of bass line, but as a shuffle, so every note doubled. I hope you see here, our formula through all these different lines is just 1, 3, 5, 6, but the possibilities for using them is nearly endless. The sixth on the top of the line is super melodic, and it opens up even more possibilities for you to use. By the way, all these examples, as well as links to the recordings I've been talking about, can be found in a tab form as well as notation by clicking the first link in the description of this video, all totally free. So now we get to our sixth and final blues bassline formula. This one is kind of a mixture of everything we've had so far. It uses the 1, 3, 5, and 6 of formula number 5, but then combined with the 7th note of each chord that we had in formulas number 3 and 4. The final formula is 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 3. You've probably heard this kind of line before. Yeah? That's the kind of basic idea. You can double the notes once again, make it a shuffle. Yeah, this is the kind of line you'd hear in Elvis's Blue Suede Shoes. It's a total classic blues bass line. Now this is once again a 2-bar phrase, so if you're playing it over the whole form you need to be a little bit careful. You have to modify it so it'll work over the 5 chord and the 4 chord in the last phrase, because of course they only last 1 bar. So you might just play the first 4 notes and then move on. Yeah, so for the first track, so with the track, might sound something like this. Same thing over the D chord, 2-bar phrase. Now over the 5 chord and the 4 chord, just the first 4 notes. Yeah? Now again, if you wanted to, you could totally double all the notes. Of course, that makes it more of a shuffle type groove, but you don't have to, of course. Now if the music calls for it, you can always straighten out the 8th notes as well, and that'd sound like this. Same exact thing, just with straight 8th notes. Once again, this is more of a kind of rock and roll kind of thing. Simple. Once you know all these formulas, you can actually start playing them with other people and start making real music. Now you don't have to be tied to just playing one of these blues bass lines for the whole song. You can mix and match and go between all of them, sometimes even in the same song. Just be careful to change at the top of a form to avoid confusing your bandmates. It can feel really strange, for example, if you went from formula number 2 to number 6 in like the 7th bar of the form. So just make sure you change at the beginning of every 12-bar form if you do want to change. Now I know I've just thrown a whole lot of stuff at you, but you don't have to worry if you haven't taken all of it in just yet. You can download the tabs and notation of all these bass lines, plus a few variations from becomeabassist.com. Just click that first link in the description, fill out the form on that page. I'll send them straight to your email address, totally free. I'll even throw in the backing tracks I've been using in this video, just a special gift from me to you so you can get started playing these bass lines right now. Just click that link to get started. It's 100% free and 100% fun. To recap really quickly though, you learned 6 authentic blues bassline formulas that'll work for you every time. You learned that the simplest was just an 8th note bass line on all the roots of the chords. Formula number 2 added the 5th of each chord to the mix. Blues bassline formula number 3 was all about the ascending 1-5-7-1, and formula number 4 was kind of like the descending version, the 1 to the octave 7-5. Formula number 5 was super versatile and flexible and added the 6th, so we got 1, 3, 5, and 6. And finally, our last bassline formula was that 2-bar phrase 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 3, 1. Thanks so much for sticking around. This has been a ton of fun for me, and I hope you've got a lot out of it as well. Make sure and click that link in the description, get the tabs, notation, and practice tracks from this lesson. They'll be super, super handy for you. I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and I'll see you in another video somewhere. Bye.